today let us discuss about the pipe concept. So the inter-process communication. So we already discussed in the first unit like the inter-process communication may be implemented with the help of pipes and then message passing as well as the named pipe. Okay. So now today we will try to discuss the concept of pipe. Okay. So now let us move on to the pipe. So whenever we consider any process communication, a process where it will try to communicate with each other, that is nothing but a synchronization, right? So a communication between these processes can be seen in the method of cooperation between them. So we may be using a shared memory concept or otherwise message passing. So there are two ways to implement the inter-process communication. So first, let us take how to implement the pipes. Okay. So the pipe is nothing but it has a two end. One is the read, the other is the write. So in general, a pipe is called as a half duplex method, where you can try to do read it at the one end. So it means that you need to have two pipes for doing a read as well as the write. So one may be dedicated for the read, the other may be dedicated for the write. So at the one end, you can see here it is trying to write the pipe. Okay, on the other end, you can try to read one by one. So in general, when we try to implement the pipe, it may be of 8 yeah. So let us consider the pipe. First, we need to make use of the pipe concept. So the functionality here is the method is a pipe, and then you need to create two pipes. So always it should be 2 in length. So one way you are trying to say it's going to be right, the other way you can try to go for a read process. So we need two pipe process. So by default the pipe may be declared as 2 here. So which means that pipe of 0 and then pipe of 1. So where 1 indicates that we can go for the write process. So writing into a pipe, we'll say a pipe of 1, and then where the read process is default in the corner of a pipe of 0. So whenever we take a pipe, first let us say in the program when we move on to, you may be coming a better idea. So just assume that there are two ends for the pipe. One is the read, the other is the write. 1 means it's a write operation, 0 means it's a read operation. Correct? Fine. And whenever if it can't able to execute properly, then it may be returning as a -1. So that is nothing but the error. So that is nothing but failurity for the check condition. So what is the first question here is create a pipe using a pipe system call and send a message to the one end of the pipe and retrieve the message on the other end of the pipe. Okay. So now we are going to write hello world in one end, and then we are going to retrieve on the read the process from the other end. Okay. So first we will move on to the program. Okay. So now let us say I'll try to open a file. I already edited it. I will open it. It says 11.5.c. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create on the one end write process, on the other end read. Okay. So first you can see here we'll try to declare our header files, followed by we'll try to create a pipe here. So for that just I'm using one array which may be p of 2, so that I'm assuming that 0 is going for the read operation and then 1 is for the write operation. Okay. And now take for the buffer is nothing but for passing some messages. So the length I'm maximizing here as a 25 here, whereas you can send any number of characters less than 25. Okay. Fine, that is a simple string declaration. And then here just we will go for a pipe creation. So the function I'm going to call here pipe of and pass this p, so that it will try to pass an array. Okay. And then we will try to have a child as well as the parent process. In the child process, what we are doing is, if it is 0 means it's a child. So here I'm first writing. So the child is going to write a message inside the pipe. Okay, so that's why I'm just giving a write operation followed by P of 1. So as I said, P1 indicates that write operation. So P of 1 is the writing task, so that I'm just declaring here P of 1. So this might be the first argument, and then the message here I'm going to give welcome. So you can pass anything. And then the length of the message. So here length always the character, the last is the null. So that's why I'm just giving a 8 here. So here welcome is totally 7 in length plus 1 null character. So that's why the length is 8 here. Okay. Hope you understood. And then in the else part, which is nothing but a parent process. So in the parent process, I'm just creating a wait, so that it will wait to complete the write operation, and then we'll try to go for the parent. So where what the parent is going to do is it will try to read the content from the file. So I'm just taking a read operation because this is a message passing. So we'll use a read as well as write operation. P of 0. So it's not even a reading process. From where? From the buffer, right? So I need to place the value inside the buffer so that I can able to print it. Otherwise it does it, but we can't able to see what is the output, right? So that's why I'm just created a buffer, a temporary variable, so that the return value, this welcome, may be stored now in the buff variable, and then this will be printed in the print statement. So percentage, yes, I have given because it's a character, so I will try to print. Now I am exiting the parent. Hope you understood the program. Let me execute it. So gcc space ex, the file name, file.c. So it was successfully compiled. Now I will go for the execution. Dart. See, now first it opens the child and writing the content into a file, and then child exit. After that the parent is reading from the file, so the message we already given in the program, and then the value read is nothing but the welcome. See here, whatever we return here, that was read. Okay, so in this way we can try to do the inter-process communication through message passing. Okay. Okay. And the next, let us go for the duplication. So what is the objective here is, whenever we take any operations,